So thanks everybody for kind of being here and getting started with training camp. We're all excited. I think we got a good group. They've been working extremely hard in the spring, and then these guys obviously stayed in shape over the course of the break that we all had. But the guys are back. They're recharged. They're focused. I thought day one was a good day. Made some corrections. Now we're just going to try to string good days together. But the fundamentals, the techniques, the communication, those kind of foundational pieces of the defense that we're trying to lay, I think our guys understand that, and they're working hard to get those things done. It's a great vibe and a great energy with this group, and hopefully we can continue that. So excited to move forward and ready for any questions.
Yesterday, Josh Metellus, it feels like he's hit at like a master's level in your defense now entering year 3. Do you feel like there's been a difference with the guys that have now been with you for a couple years and just their readiness for this camp and understanding?
Yeah, I mean, specific to Josh, I mean, he's certainly one of our players with a very high football IQ. He knows what we're looking to do. He knows that there's could be changes within the defense based on what the offense is doing. They kind of know how I think a little bit more, and how DJ thinks, and how we think as a staff. The things we're looking for, offenses in this league, they're tough to play against. So you have to have great communication, great awareness, and high football IQ. Josh certainly has that. We're different on the field when he's there. But we've got a lot of guys like that, Josh, B. Murph, Ginkle, Grenard, Harrison Phillips. I mean, I can go on and on. Whoever I don't name is going to get upset with me. Theo, who am I missing? Zay Rogers, John Allen, Hargrave. I said HP. I said him twice now, so he'll be good. And no, we got a lot of guys with high football acumen. And yes, to your point, guys who have been here for 2 years or 3 years, and really, and even the first-year guys, with the help of the guys who have been here, who understand how we want to play and the different, things that are challenging within the defense. That if we can get these things, then we'll really help ourselves. But overall, I'm very excited for the group. But we've got to put in the work. This isn't just a hey, we were here last year, so. We roll it out. I mean, we got to, work at our communication, work at our overall cohesion, and I think it's our job as coaches to challenge them to and raise the bar as far as the things we want to do, and if we can do them, we'll try them, and if we're successful, we'll do them, and if not, we'll try something else. So, but I'm excited about the group.
Saw the pass breakup yesterday on the pass to Jess there. Can you even put a value on what that is for his development to be able to go against Jefferson every day and have that kind of?
I mean, I think it's our receiver crew, our tight end group. I mean, we're just talking about it as a defense. A training camp against our offense. We're seeing a lot of really good players on the O line and the tight end room, at the receiver, at the running back position, at the quarterback position. I think we've got a. It's a very competitive group. There's a lot of depth on our offense, on our defense. So, going against Jets every day, going against Jordan Addison, T.J. Hawkinson, but Jets in particular, being that he's, in the upper echelon of just overall players in the league, and he's just such a great player. Yes, every day going against him, knowing where he is, whether it's one-on-ones or. Oftentimes we're double teaming him just so we can we have awareness of where he is. But we've got a boatload of players in that kind of bucket. Where's Josh Oliver in the run game, because he's a problem. And where's Jordan Addison, and where's Aaron Jones, and where's Mason. So we've got a lot of really good players, and it's fun to watch JJ kind of spin the ball to those guys. Tough to defend, but it's definitely great work for us.
Ryan, what have your early impressions of Eric Wilson been in that linebacker room?
Oh, Eric's been fantastic. I know he's been here before. I was never with him, but it's almost like he's been here the entire time that I've been here. He's just got a great energy about him. Just a great presence, kind of a veteran presence in the linebacker room. And then he's a total professional. He's in early, he stays late. He's picked things up quickly. He's done a great job just from he's kind of taken on a leadership role, right away, and excited about his role and the things he can do and how he can help us in a variety of ways. We've got a lot of depth in that room, and it'll be a competitive environment really at all positions. But he's been tremendous.
You've been here a few years and you've got your defense set. Is there a similarity for like the new guys coming in that takes them a little bit to adjust? Is it the fact that you like them to do various different things, be versatile, or you must see it like where that progression hits from one day of camp, mini camps to now? Oh
yeah, I mean, I think for the new guys and the young guys who come in, there's certainly a learning curve. I think our coaching staff has does a fantastic job of helping guys through that learning curve. But I also think the players help, quite a bit with that. In the locker room, in the cafeteria. It's an old adage that it takes a village, and I think it does, especially with young players, especially coming into a system like this where there's a lot of communication, and we do several different things, but we try to build a curriculum that's allows them to learn in a way through essentially word association, and just try to put them in the basically in the ballpark of what we're doing, coverage-wise, pressure-wise. We've kind of worked through that. I feel like every offseason we're changing that, changing the verbiage, changing some calls, changing some categories, all with the thought process of how can we make it as easy as possible on the players. But still, they work extremely hard, and we've got a lot of really good players who work at it and are diligent at working at it, and because they do that, that allows them to put their best foot forward out on the field.
Kevin talked Tuesday about how important forcing turnovers are to this team's philosophy. Mm-hmm. Just how do you characterize the science of creating takeaways, and how can this defense build on what last year's defense did?
I think, look, it's the #1 stat. I think, everyone knows and understands that. Matt Daniels does a great job. He comes in, I would say, every other day and talks turnovers and kind of leads the charge from that standpoint, along with our entire coaching staff. I think it's, the opportunities that present themselves happen differently from position to position. We try to highlight that, where are those opportunities, and then we try to practice it, we watch it, so we meet on it, we walk through some drills, we practice some drills, we do them in group periods, and then we try to see if it all comes together in a team period, and then hopefully it comes together in a game. So there's a big process to that, or a long process to that. No different than anything else we do, whether it's red zone or third down, or we try to be diligent about, how we teach it. And everyone learns a little bit differently. So I think we're very mindful of that as well. But I think, Matt Daniels, DG, they do a great job kind of leading the charge from that standpoint. And we all, as a collective group, just work together and obviously put a major emphasis on it. Because it's not easy, because, the offense is doing everything they can to, protect the football. So that's your back and forth. And, we'll continue to work and try to create those. And I think our guys, they understand that and they work at it.
Just beyond the typical turnovers, last year's group was great at defending fourth downs. What are the keys there, and how can you practice those things right now?
Just an overall awareness, down and distance. That's a huge play. Understanding how much yardage the offense needs to get there. I think, our guys are they work hard at that. We spend time on that. Third down, fourth down, red zone, all those situations, we try to spend time on that. But everybody's spending time on that. We know, the offense is doing that. We're going to get, their best plays and, just try to defend them as best we can. But, as coaches, we're trying to put them in best positions, especially in those critical situations. So, again, I know last year was last year. We're really kind of focused on, this year and, how can we improve on, in certain areas and, keep things going in some other areas. So, hopefully you didn't just jinx us. I'll be here to talk to you about it if you did.
Hey Brian, what are your expectations for Dallas Turner in this camp?
My expectations for Dallas and everybody here is that they just try to get better every day. Whether it's, a technique, a fundamental, something within his acumen and football IQ. We're always looking for, as teachers of the game, those light bulb moments for players when, that's the technique I need to, cover this guy, or that's the awareness I'm looking for to get that play handled. So that's a daily, that's kind of the daily work that we're doing at all positions, specific to Dallas. He's done a lot of really good things so far, through OTAs and really on the first day. So we're just looking for him to, continue to improve as a rusher in the run game, early downs, third downs, in the different roles that we have him playing. How many different ways can we rush him? How many different ways can we cover him? And he's been open, and he's really done a good job in all those areas. And we'll see. I'm excited for him. Honestly, I am.
We're talking so much about him and the mental side, but physically, was that an emphasis for him this offseason, or did you want him just to get stronger physically?
I think that's we have these end of season reviews for everyone, and that's really for every rookie who's gone through their rookie season. That's normally something, hey, play strength and speed and quickness, and that's really kind of a standard conversation you're having with every rookie and really every player. Dallas, took it upon himself to get bigger, stronger, and faster, I would say, to put himself in best position to come out here and compete. And he's done a really nice job of that. So, we got a long way to go here in training camp, but he's off to a good start, just like, I would say a lot of our guys are.
Last couple. Brian, with Josh Metellus' role, does the potential of more traditional safety time make sense at all to you, or is there just more? Does he have more value with that kind of uniqueness to what he played last year?
Yeah, I don't. Traditional. That word. I don't know if that really fits me. I think when you've got a guy like with Josh's skill set or Ginkle's skill set or, Dallas Turner's skill set, yes, can he do that? Absolutely. And I think all those guys can do that. But we try to be, creative, and, we've done that with Josh, and like I said earlier, he's obviously a big part of, what we do defensively. So yes, he'll play some traditional safety, he'll play some nickel, he'll play some linebacker, he'll be on the D-line, he'll play all over the place like he has, the last few years, because he's done a good job at that. And try to, the things that guys have that are their strengths, we try to stay with those, and whatever their weaknesses are, we try to stay away from those. But he's really worked on every part of his game, because he's that type of professional, and I'm excited for him this season.
Maya Vaughn, when he was coming out, and how has he made the transition here?
Size, obviously, you guys, you walk on the field and see a guy who's 6'2", long arms, a corner, can run. So, the measurables are there. We brought him in on a 30. He was really very good just from a mental standpoint, acumen standpoint. He works hard. It's important to him. You put all those things together, and it's something that, you're excited to work with. And he works at it, And really, just as a general message to our guys, it's really four things. Be on time, that's number one. And then, work hard in every area, whether it's in the weight room or, obviously on the field, in the meeting rooms and walkthroughs. So work hard, be unselfish. Because, this is a game where there's 11 guys on the field, and everybody relies on somebody else to do their job, for them to do their job, for us to be efficient as a defense. And the last thing I ask those guys is to have fun. And, that's the message that I gave to the team. I think specific to Zamaya, you know, and any young player, if you can do those 3 things, or 4 things, got to be on time too, then, you know, you put yourself in best position. And that's what we're trying to do with each one of these guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.